Hello, and in this video I'm going to show you one-dimensional arrays. I had said in the last tutorial that I will teach you objects, but I still forgot to teach you about arrays, and they're very important, so let's get started. So I'm going to start off with int, I'm going to start off with string string. I'm going to make these small brackets here. Let me make my screen bigger. And I'm going to call this string. Now, this string holds these two brackets. Basically, these two brackets make the string a different type. Instead of making it a string, it becomes a string array. So now I'm gonna make it into a string array. I'm gonna call this string my array. Make this a big A. So let me make my screen bigger. So I'm gonna call it, I'm not gonna declare it yet. I'm just gonna make it a variable. And basically what array is, it's a collection of stuff. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a collection of strings. So I have to include how many items I'm gonna hold in this array, because array is immutable. So I'm not sure if it's called mutable or immutable. I think so. It's immutable. Immutable means that it cannot, it's immutable. So I think immutable is that how much you declare in the array, basically how much objects you're going to put into the array, that's how much objects can be in the array. So basically if you declare that there will be five things in the array, then you have to declare it. So first I gotta do it like this. I made a mistake. I go string, two brackets, my array, whatever you want to call it, and I'm gonna go like this, equals new string, two brackets, and here semicolon, and in here I'm gonna write that I want to implement five items. It's not 5 items, I want to implement 6 items. So why am I writing 5? Because the items from an array starts off with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, let's say 5. So from 0 till 5 is 6. It's 6 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a little confusing, but you'll get used to it. So we have here string, to brackets, my array equals new string. So you're gonna ask me, what's this whole piece of code? What means new? That's why I wanted to teach you objects before, but I feel just ignore this whole thing, just type after this, and just look at this as a variable. As a variable that could string array, that basically could take in items. So what I'm gonna do is write my array, and I'm gonna say placeholder my array, and here you put the placeholder. So I'm gonna say my array place 0, is equals. It's like a small copy, and I'm gonna stick into the small copy a cat. I'm gonna do the same thing again. My array 1, and I'm gonna equals it mouse. And again, my array and equals it a dog. Oh, sorry. So I'm holding by placeholder 2. That's the third element in the array. And I'm gonna call it dog. I'm gonna place another element, my array 3, and I'm gonna equals it to bull. I'm gonna go again, my array 4, and equals it to a leopard. Leopard. And my array, and I'm holding by the 6th item, and I'm gonna call this a rat. So now we have 6 items. And what I'm gonna do now is write console. I'm gonna do my shortcut, CW, tab, and I'm gonna call out my array item 2. So I'm calling the third element in the array, and the array is of type strings. I'm gonna write console dot read line Okay, so what it's gonna print is it's gonna print dog. Why dog? Because it's basically saying give me from your array placeholder number 2, what's the third element in the array. Let's compile, and we get a compiler error. An unhandled exception of type system index out of range occurred in my project. Oh, so the reason is that it's a little bit tricky. I made a mistake. This holds 5 items. So it says, hey, you have 5 placeholders. So it tells you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So these are the 5 placeholders. So it tells you you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this rat should not be in the array. So I'm gonna call it again, and you should see dog. And here you go, and here you see dog. So you got a dog in this array. So the same thing if you do it with 0, you're gonna get cat. And now you could do even a cooler thing. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a for loop. So I'm gonna go for tab for the shortcut, and I'm gonna write for int I is equal 0, I is less than length, so I'm gonna give it the length of the array. So I'm gonna go my array dot length, and I'm gonna go I++. I'm gonna write console dot read dot write line and I'm gonna pass in so what I'm gonna do is another small thing that I need to do. I need to write my array oh no, I'm gonna do like this. My array, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to write I my array I. So what this is doing is it's taking it's a little confusing. Basically what it's doing is it's looking and it's seeing my array.length. How many items do I have here? I have 5 items. So it's sticking in here that there is 5 items. So now I is equals 0. If I is less than 5, then execute and put I++ until it reaches 5, and the second it reaches 5, it's not going to execute, because if it reaches 5, then basically do like this and it would reach 5 and it would say, hey, I don't have 5. It's a little confusing, so you'll get it on your own if you play around with it. And what it's doing is, for each time, it's not only counting, it's taking I, it's making it again equals to 1, equals to 2, and like that it's gonna take this I and it's gonna take this placeholder and equals it, and then it's gonna run again, take this placeholder and print it, take this placeholder and print it here, this placeholder and print it here, and yeah. So here we got cat, mouse, bulldog, and leopard. So another way of doing it is there's another kind of loop that I didn't show you. That loop is a little easier. It's called a for each loop. For each. So you go like this. For each. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go var. You know what? I'm going to write string. String I. You call it whatever you want. And we write in string I in my array what I'm going to do is console dot write line I. So it's doing the same thing, just a little easier. Basically what it's doing is it's taking this whole array full of items, and each time it's doing some internal for loop. It says for each item in the array, take the first item and then print it. Then do it again, take the second item, print it, third item, print it. till it reaches the last, it prints. So the thing of this is that this you can't really get an error of out of range, not the amount of for loops. You could get yourself less errors by doing this, but a lot of times you need to use for loops later on in programming rather than for each loops when you want to do a copy of the array, certain aspects that you want to do. What it's going to do is essentially it's going to do the same thing. It's going to print out cat, mouse, dog, bull, leopard. So here you have it. You have all these stuff, and next video I'm going to show you objects. So